and they've shaken things up a little bit, and they've changed their order around and their athletes. And Rob, can you fill us in?
Yeah, like it's a massive, like looking at the season's best of all of the teams, there's less than a second between all of the teams, and now the Irish team are going into this now with massive expectations. Some are putting the favourite tags on them, but now the other nations have them marked as well, and the Dutch have changed the positions of their athletes around, so it's a bit like Leicester winning the Premier League and they're marked the next year, so it's going to be really, really interesting. And Sophie, Sharlene Mawdsley is nearly after running as many laps at this championships as Brian Fay. So it's going to be interesting to see how she gets on in the final leg.
Derval, like fatigue is obviously a factor for the Irish team. The Dutch have made 3 changes. They're going to be a bit fresher as well. We think they're the big threats, but how important is that fatigue going to be?
I think it's all going to come into play. You just wonder when they walk out here how much energy they get from that crowd. This is just one more final go in a week that has been an absolutely tremendous week for this team, and you just hope that they can get over that. But there is a lot of running in those legs. When you see that Dutch team, they've changed it by 75%. Only one of their runners from the heat. But then look at all these fans, so they've just had such an incredible week, and they'll know looking at each other, this is one more go. It's one last dance to get a medal here. And could they possibly push for gold? I think the Dutch are going out here with a point to prove, and the way they've changed this up and they've changed the way they're running, they want to put down a marker before the Olympics.
OK, well, incredible support for an incredible team. Let's see how they get on. It's over to Greg and Dave in Rome.
Yes, you're welcome to the stadium for the final evening session of the 6 days of these European Championships. This 4x400-metre relay for women about to get underway shortly. This is the Polish team, who are certainly one of the contenders for medals, but these are the women who are so far and away the favourites for the gold medal. If you take off our green glasses, and we are wearing our green glasses all week, these are the world champions. They're also 4 seconds quicker over 4 laps than Ireland has ever run for the 4x400-metre relay. And yet, in the relay, the attritional nature of the relay, things can go wrong for teams. Athletes cannot run up to scratch. Sometimes the baton change territory can yield good things for some countries as they get a clear path through, and bad things for others as the attritional nature of the race unfolds. Here comes Ireland in a lovely lane draw, lane 6, being led out by Sophie Becker. For Germany, this is going to be Skadi Scheer leading them out. For Belgium, Naomi van den Broek. For Italy, Ilaria Elvira Akame. And for Spain, Carmen Avilés. The Dutch team out in lane 9 are being led out by Lieke Klaver, the bronze medalist in the women's 400 metres. The Dutch team has 3 individual medalists here. Bronze in the 400, that's Lieke Klaver. Bronze in the 400 hurdles, Kathleen Peters. The gold medalist in the 400 hurdles, Femke Bol, who also happens to be the world indoor record holder for 400 metres. And their 4th runner, Lisanne de Wit, is twice an individual medalist in European Championships. They are so strong. But Ireland's quartet have 3 of the top 10 from the individual here, including Rhasidat Adeleke, who set an Irish record in winning the silver medal. It is a huge ask to beat the Dutch. But this is relay, and stuff happens in relays. The women's 4x400-metre relay final.
Set.
So safely away, and Sophie Becker is now the traditional lead-off runner because she's a good blocks runner, and she's proving that already by running down Zukamba Sila of France, and that's pretty clear. And obviously in the case of the first leg, it's a long, hard task to judge racing in lanes because the stagger is different to an ordinary 400-metre race. But Sophie Becker has loads and loads of experience. Lieke Klaver, as we expected, off really, really hard on the opening leg. She is the fastest, among the fastest in the field here, over 200 metres. And she's tempering her first 200s these days to give her a bit more energy and indeed endurance at the first changeover. And let's indeed see who is the first to change over. And it looks like the Dutch are going to have the baton in hand first, and that's to be expected. Now Rhasidat Adeleke will know in around 100 metres just how much she has to make up on that lead of Lieke Klaver. And it will suit Rhasidat Adeleke that she's chasing Klaver, because that's the measure for her because she knows that she has the measure of Klaver. She finished ahead of her in the 400 meters final. And now they're tucking in, and Poland are disputing second place, and now Rhasidat Adeleke accelerates right onto the shoulder of the Dutch second leg athlete, and that is Kathleen Peters, bronze medalist in the 400 meters hurdles. And a really strong second leg here from Rhasidat Adeleke, and we will need the lead to have any chance of gold, I think. The baton going to be handed over to Phil Healy, who will need something like the leg of her life, which she did in the qualification, 51.1, her fastest ever 400-meter leg. So Phil Healy has the baton in front of the Dutch. But this is where the Dutch have real depth. This is Lisanne de Wit, though, and Healy has the measure of de Wit in ordinary circumstances if she's in top form. And Cynthia Belingo of Belgium is a really proficient World Championship finalist, and she's running alongside de Wit, and Phil Healy is running brilliantly if she can hold on to this level of input, because to hold off Lisanne de Wit and Cynthia Belingo is a huge effort. It will mean on the final leg that Femke Bol looks like the effort of Lisanne de Wit is going to accelerate past Healy as we come into the changeover for the final lap. And now the baton is in the hand of the world indoor record holder, Femke Bol. And does Sharlene Mawdsley at this stage think, I'm going to run for silver, and if gold happens, so be it? But she has a race in her hands on the final leg. At the moment, the Polish team is not in this. That's a surprise. And it is actually the Belgians and Helena Ponette, the athlete that Sharlene Mawdsley ran against for the medal, the gold medal in the mixed relay. So now, on the crown of the final bend, about 180 meters to go, she has closed down Femke Bol, Sharlene Mawdsley, but Bol always holds something back. If Sharlene Mawdsley can go on her shoulder, put some pressure on, who knows? Ponette is closing in on Sharlene Mawdsley. This is the 5th place for Sharlene Mawdsley this week. She must be sapped of strength, but she's holding on. She's even challenging Bol, but Bol takes the gold. But brilliant Sharlene Mawdsley takes silver for Ireland, leads the team home. Extraordinary to run 5 races and be that strong and hold off the Belgian. That is Sharlene Mawdsley at her very best. It might not be gold, but it's a goldish tinted silver medal. That is a sensational result for the Irish, and the Dutch were hard-pressed all the way. The Irish record has been, again, obliterated by almost 2 seconds. An extraordinary performance between Adeleke and Mawdsley. They had run 7 races before today, and here they've done exactly what they really could have done at their very best if the Netherlands got the baton round safely, and the Netherlands did get the baton round safely. They are the deserved gold medalists. But what a silver medal for Ireland, exceeding our European Championship history haul of medals. We've made 2 gold medals and a bronze in 1998. Already we had 2 gold and a silver from these championships, and now it's gold, gold, silver, silver for Ireland. The greatest ever Irish performance in the European Championships, sealed in this 4x400 meter relay for women with a wonderful silver medal. And just watch Sharlene Mawdsley putting pressure on Femke Bol. My goodness, has she entered into uncharted territory this week, elevating herself into a scenario, a finalist in the 400 and a silver medalist in the 4x400 meter relay and a gold medalist in the mixed relay. Sharlene Mawdsley leading home the Irish team, led out by Sophie Becker, handing to Rhasidat Adeleke, handing to Phil Healy, and they all ran superbly, not the least of them, Sharlene Mawdsley on the anchor leg.
It took a European lead for the Dutch women to actually beat the Irish. That is the significance of the run which our Irish women ran. Sophie Becker, 52 seconds dead. Rhasidat Adeleke, 49.36. Phil Healy, 51.51. And as you said, Greg, a 49.84 for Sharlene Mawdsley. She ran for silver. We couldn't ask any more. A national record and a brilliant medal for the team.
Confirmation: the Netherlands, Ireland, Belgium, gold, silver, bronze. Malaika Mahambo, the Olympic champion in the women's long jump. And this women's long jump competition only on the last 15 minutes. And this is her first jump, the gold medal favourite. Never a European champion, but a world and Olympic champion, Malaika Mahambo. So we'll take this mark and see exactly what the standard is being set in this women's long jump. Mahambo being the gold medal favourite by some distance, opens up with a 6m70 jump. She'll want to improve significantly on that because Larissa Iapicino is leading on 6m82. And with that, we'll hand back the studio and have a chat about what's just happened in the last 5 minutes.
Well, what a race that was. Again, it just keeps on getting better and better, doesn't it, Sonia? But that run from Sharlene Mawdsley at the end was just unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sharlene, she definitely was the big difference in that there, because like they were all breathing down her neck behind, and she just hung on to the back of Femke Bol, you know, to the point she looked like she was actually going to go past her. And I think Femke Bol was very relieved to get across the line first. She looked like, you know, she wasn't kicking away at the end, and Sharlene, you know, on her 5th race, she probably didn't have quite the lift that she had in the mixed relay. But to hold on for silver is fantastic and a great way to, you know, end their championships as the women's 4x4.
Absolutely. Rob, she's such a gutsy athlete, isn't she?
But just to believe, like, she had problems in the final of the individual race, but she's been so consistent, and her belief to deliver under pressure, like they get the baton when we were hoping to have a gap on the final leg, when you know Ball is going to be so strong. And for Sharlene to hold off everybody and close on Ball and actually run faster than her, she's an incredible athlete. And she's coming to have 2 athletes like Sharlene and Rhasidat being world class and dragging the girls around. And Phil Healy, to be fair, the 3rd leg, there's been massive pressure on her because she's been very open about her thyroid problems the last few years. She's been very inconsistent. So I think there was huge pressure on her today. She knew the 3 around her were rock solid, and she held it together there, and she gave Sharlene a chance. And Sophie was brilliant at the start, and Rhasidat coming back to run the final is obviously going to be exhausted. It's such a huge achievement. To go from 6 2 years ago to this just shows how far they've all come as a team.
Yeah, a huge leap. And Derval, a national record again. I mean, they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I don't think they could have done much more, you know. And if you look here, like into the last 80 metres, like Sharlene tried to go here, and we were quickly looking at the splits there, and Sharlene's split was actually faster than Femke's split here, and she really tried to go, and and you can see the little smile on her face going, you know what, not today, but another day. But a European silver medal, like that is phenomenal for that team. Their trajectory in the past 2 years, how they've been able to elevate themselves to one of the best teams in the world, 2nd in Europe now, like it is incredible and so well deserved for all of them. And you know, as Rob was saying, like Phil Healy has not had an easy time the past couple of years. Sophie Becker has just come on in leaps and bounds, and you'd just be thrilled for them, you know, and all their team, everyone around them, because it is brilliant to see, and it just means Irish athletics keeps going up and up.
Sonia, Irish athletics on the up, but for Sophie and for Phil as well, obviously Sharlene and Rhasidat have their medals already, but for them to get on the medal table as well, I mean, a silver in the European Championships, it's huge for them, isn't it?
It's massive, you know, and it's massive for the sport, you know, because it just, the depth that you can have, the more depth that you can have, then the greater teams that you can have. As we saw there, the Dutch were able to change in 3 athletes, so they had, you know, a slightly fresher team than Ireland. And, you know, there's lots of, you know, girls out there now looking at this, and they're all thinking, I want to go down my local club, I want to be a part of this. I don't have to be the best, but I need to be in the top 6 or the top 8 in Ireland, and I have a chance to get on the relay team. And that's what you're looking at, is, you know, encouraging more and more athletes to, you know, want to be a part of this, and for the men as well, you know, because we need more depth in the men as well to bring more into the mixed relay. But it's just more opportunities for more athletes.
Yeah, and Rob, Irish athletics on the crest of a wave. I mean, this has been such a sensational week, unexpected almost. But what does Irish athletics have to do now to capitalise on that?
There's so much to do. Like sometimes you can have a massive bunch of talent, and sometimes it can paper over cracks. You know, these girls are really talented, and they've gone through their own journey individually. And we have to grasp, like, the Dutch have a really good system, and we just need to put them systems in place, supporting the events that are really strong. And like that team is so good. I'm just so buzzing for Sharlene to come around, because I've seen Irish athletes on so many occasions, they're in that position and they don't back themselves, and that could have easily been a 6th. And she's a smile on her face, and for every single kid in the country competing, boy or girl, that, you know, go out and just give it a cut. And if she finished 6th there and she didn't give up, there's nothing you can do. And when you're looking at, like, when we always go on about female sport and male sport, I was chatting to my Tara and Regan today. I said, who's your favourite athlete? They said Sharlene Mawdsley. And I said, why? And they goes, because she was the fastest in the relay. She ran faster than Rhasidat the last day. And for them to see that, and just the body positive image as well, like the female athletes here are phenomenal. Like, any top male person in the country can look at these females and go, oh, whoa. and it can give girls such confidence. And the knock-on effect from this in the generation that we're in with social media, with TV, it's going to have a huge ripple effect. And I think as an association, we need to have the systems in place to support that.
Therefore, everyone loves watching relays. Athletics is such an individual sport, really, and most athletes live in their own head for an awful lot of time, don't they? But what does it mean for the wider sport, like, to see that success? And is it something that Ireland should perhaps focus on looking ahead to the Olympics and even beyond, that maybe some athletes who mightn't do so well in their individual events are told, look, actually, you're going to the relay and that's what you need to focus on?
Well, I think there'll need to be a big review after this week, because it's gone so brilliantly well, and you're going, OK, how do we carry this momentum forward? Like a mixed relay winning medal, then you have like your women winning medal. OK, what can we do to get close to that? Because obviously once you hit the Olympic Games, you have a lot of other countries coming in. This is phenomenal at this level, but we go up again once you get to the Olympics. And I think it will be about just that high performance management for the next 7 weeks, and where do people need to put their time and their energy and their efforts. But what's really interesting to me about that, and you're saying, athletics is such an individual sport and it can be a lonely place. Like, you wonder if you'd ask those 4 girls to go out and run an individual race, would they have been able to run that fast at the end of the week? But when they're there as a team, they ran for each other tonight, and they probably ran for every coach who's ever helped them, and it's just absolutely glorious to see.